What is up, guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to play Santa Claus is Coming to Town in kind of a jazz arrangement. Real quick, just want to let you know my album is out on iTunes, Spotify, all the digital media outlets, or music outlets, excuse me. Links are in the description, and if you would like to consider becoming a channel sponsor, I would really appreciate that. There's a link for Patreon in the description, and for as little as $1 a month, you can basically help me pay my bills. So I would really appreciate that if you could take the time and check it out. So get right to it. This is in A major, and basically we're going to be using barred A chords, major, minor, and major seventh, and barred E chords, E minor and major. So there's basically two parts to the song. I'll play through the verse, kind of talk you through it, and then play through the chorus. So the verse goes like this. Okay, it's really not as complicated as it looks. So we start off, we've got A major. You can play it like this, or like that. I'm just picking with these three fingers on my, let's see here, 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string. So D, G, and B. And my thumb bounces around from A to E, A and E strings. And that's basically where my hand is for the entire song. And I'll call out the bass notes as being different. But what you're picking with your fingers doesn't ever change. It's always those 3 strings. So we start with A, and you just play them all at once. And then you jump up to the 4th fret and play A minor 7, barred A minor 7 form, which is C sharp minor. So we've got up a half step to D, and you play an A major 7th, which is, like this. This is A major. This is A major 7. You take the middle note, lower it down a half step, so you kind of switch your fingers around, and you bar that at the 5th fret. And then you jump up to the 9th fret and play the minor 7 again, real quick. Again, on all of these, your thumb is playing the A string. So you jump from 9th fret to the 2nd fret. This is from F sharp minor to B minor, and these are all minor 7s, so the middle note is out. Your pinky is out. You play that string where you bar it. That's your G string. So if we walk through those chords again, we started with A, C sharp minor, D major 7, F sharp minor, B minor. So in context, like that. Then you're back to A. Now we're gonna move on. So following that, then it's A. Now this chord that follows A, I'm dropping my thumb down to the low E string, and I'm rolling my thumb over and playing it on the 2nd fret. And if I were to play the full barred form, it would look like this, which is a barred E minor. But because I'm only concerned about playing these 3 strings here, these 3, I just keep this finger there fretting them, and I just roll over and grab the bass note like this. You could play it even like that, because all you're playing is the low E, your D, G, and B. And those all barred in a row make F sharp minor. If you wanted to play all the strings, you'd have to add in a 3rd or 4th finger here on the A string, 4th fret, or 2 frets up from your barred finger, like that. But just like that. So we go from A. So we're basically playing A again. We're just throwing an F sharp in the bass, which makes it F sharp minor 7. And then we go. So we play B minor 7. So A minor 7, barred at the 2nd fret, and then F, which is an E form, E chord, barred on the 1st fret. So that progression there, in context, is A, F sharp minor, which is again just A with your thumb on the E string, B minor 7, F. And so your thumb is bouncing on the A, you're on the A string. On F sharp minor, you go to the E string, back to the A string with your thumb, for your B minor 7, and then back to the E string for F, okay? There's a little passing note that you can add in between F sharp minor and B minor. I'll play that in context and then talk you through it real quick. It's So what I did is I played a bass note here, C sharp, just on the 4th fret of the A string with my thumb. So it's thumb, thumb, thumb. And I play bass note, pop the strings, and then go to F. In context. Okay. Last part of the verse. Our 3rd section is it looks really hard, but all you're doing is you're holding an A chord with your 1st finger, and you have to be able to play bass notes with your other fingers and your thumb. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play alternating bass notes with our thumb, and in between every bass note we're going to pick those 3 strings, D, G, and B again. And so it's going to be open A, and then pick the chord. So we go A, G sharp, which is E on the 4th fret, F sharp, which is E on the 2nd fret. So, and then you play what is that? C sharp, which is A on the 4th fret. So we've got A, G sharp, F sharp, C sharp, all with the same chord. So 1st bass note, 2nd bass note, 3rd bass note, 4th bass note. So then you go to A minor shape, which here on the 2nd fret is B minor, and you go play the A string, 2nd fret, play with your thumb, pick with your fingers. You go to F sharp in the bass, which is the E string there on the 2nd fret, right where you're barring. So it's B, and then you go to E. You go to an E chord after that, and you. I don't actually hold the whole chord. I just am, because again I'm not playing the A string with my fingers. Keep it in the camera zone. With my fingers, and I'm playing the low E string with my thumb. So there's no need to fret that note there on the A string. You can just play it like this, and it gives you more room for the following bass note, which is you play open E, pick the chord, then you play E on the 4th fret with your 4th finger, which is G sharp. So it's like that. So if we take it from A first, we're going to go back to the beginning of this section. That's the A, then B minor, then we go to E, and then to end it, we play A, and you kind of pop it, and then bring your hand in and hit it. Bass note, fingers, hit, and it goes. And so what you're doing there is you're playing open E, and you hammer onto the 1st fret, slide to the 2nd fret. Like that. You could play it thumb, thumb, thumb. I think sometimes I might kind of do that, actually, without thinking about it. And sometimes I slide in, or hammer on it, slide. But so it's, and so there again, you notice I'm just barring, and it's the same chord that when we played earlier in the verse, like this. We're just, for convenience sake, we're barring it like that. Again, popping those same 3 strings with our fingers. So it's, and then, which if you notice, this little phrase here, we go C sharp, B minor, right? So bass note on the 4th fret, bass note on the 2nd fret where you're going to bar for your A minor chord, and then pop the fingers, which we did earlier in the verse. Let's see here, we'll play this and make sure I'm getting this all in context right. And then you just hit E after you hit just an E chord. So thumb on the E string, same 3 fingers, like that. So that whole phrase, we've walked through it. I'm just going to play it one more time in context, and then we're going to go to the chorus. So it's, I guess that's the ending of it. I'll play that whole phrase. Okay, so that's the verse. I'll just play through the verse again real quick. Kind of slow, not super slow, but slower than I would perform it. So you can, again, just hear what it sounds like after we've kind of walked through it. so that's the verse. Now looking forward to the chorus. I'll just play through it once, and then I'll take you through it. Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated. To start off, we have E minor, which is a barred A minor 4 on the 7th fret. Minor 7 actually, and so we play that. This is a 13th chord. You could also play a barred E7 form. That would work as well. It just sounds a little jazzier with the 13th. And what I'm playing is where you would normally bar for your E form. I have my first finger on the E string and my second finger on the D string, and then my other two fingers fall out on the G string and B string. So these three are kind of in a row right there, with these two being on the same fret, which is the 5th fret. That's the chord, and that's what it sounds like. So we go from E minor to A13 to D, which is a barred A form. I tend to flatten my finger off, and again, you don't have to worry about muting your high E string because you're not playing it. Again, these three fingers just stay there the whole time. So then we go to D and then down to B minor. So together, like that, okay? E minor, A13, D major, B13, or B minor, 7, excuse me. There's an extra little note you can add when going from D to B minor, where you can go. It's like what we did in the verse where we went to play the F sharp minor. We're just doing the same thing, but on the A string instead of the E string. You play like that. So open, hammer on the first fret, slide to the 2nd fret. Or again, you could pick, like that. Depends on the sound you want. Then that repeats, the first 3 chords of that repeat. So so those two parts together would be. And I didn't add in the little passing note, so here I'll do that again with that note added in there. Like that. Okay. Next part is where it gets a little bit tricky. So we're kind of doing the same thing, but 2 frets higher. So we go to F sharp minor. So A minor 7 barred on the 9th fret. And we're going to play that same technique we used earlier of holding a chord and playing bass notes underneath it. So we're going to go. So we play bass note on the A string, where we're barring here on the 9th fret. Then we move to the E string. And then we shift down 2 frets and play an E dominant 7 chord and play. We play E string with our thumb and then A string with our thumb. So we're going to go back to the beginning of that. Okay, like that. And so we're playing, again, F sharp minor, and this is B7 actually. And then we go to a barred A form here on the 7th fret, which is E major. And we're going to walk down, the bass note's going to go. And so we're going to play E. And so what we're playing there, the first time is just a barred A form. Then we slide our hand down so that our first finger is on the 4th fret. And we're going to play on the 6th fret with our 3rd finger on the A string. And put our pinky here on the 7th fret of the B string. And we're going to play. And this is a part of a barred G form, actually. I'm not going to get too complicated into that, but just for those of you who are a little more versed in your chord structure, that's what it is. So it would be a It's a B major chord with a third in the bass, which is D sharp. So it's B major with the D sharp in the bass. So we go from E, slide down to the 4th fret, oops, and then, see here. Then we play C sharp minor. After the B chord, we go to C sharp minor, so just a barred minor form. Then we keep that shape and throw our finger here on the 7th fret of the E string and switch our thumb over to the E string. And then it goes back and repeats the very beginning of this section with our F sharp minor, and then to B, and then it goes to E. And then you go to a, what is that? That's an E dominant 7 with a, I think it's a 9th added or something like that. Anyway, the point is, you're gonna bar your 3 highest strings with your 3rd finger, and on the 7th fret, reach above it to the A string, again on the 7th fret, and then tuck your 1st finger in behind those 2 on the 6th fret and grab the D string. And you're gonna play, on this one you actually wanna roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually. You could go like that as well. I like using my 5th finger. So, like that. So, again, walking through this slowly. B, E, slide down the 4th fret. This finger's on the 6th of the A string. This is on the 5th of the B string. To barred A minor form, C sharp minor. Then you throw your bass note here on the 7th fret while continuing to hold that chord, the minor chord. And then it goes C sharp, or excuse me, F sharp again. Same bass note pattern, A string to E string, then down to your barred E7, which is B7 musically. E string, A string, with the, popping the strings in between. To E, which is your barred A chord. And I go pop, 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 and then go down to that chord, which I talked about earlier. So in context, the whole chorus is... So, that's how you play, and that's how I play Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's a little bit jazzy. It's challenging if you haven't played this kind of style before, but it's pretty rewarding. And the chords are relatively simple. They might not be easy to play, but they're simple to play because they're basically, again, all barred A minor forms, A major forms, E minor forms, and E major forms. So, wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, and I hope you liked the video. Please like, share, subscribe, check out my website. If you haven't heard the album, guys, please go check it out. The link is in the video description. It's on my website. You guys are going to love it. It's really good, if I do say so myself. So, anyway, cheers.